Hi, we're back and we're checking on our soap. When we last left at part two, we had incorporated the water with the lye and we're waiting for it to cool now. So let me show you what that looks like. And I have it sitting in the sink. And look at these containers that I'm using. These are old bowls and old, wooden chopsticks. You don't want to use anything metal, okay, except for your pot, for this lye stage. And so I'm letting that do its thing. It gets really hot and then it needs to cool down. So I'm going to just check that and see where that's at. That's at like 150 or 147, 148. So it still needs to come down to about 90 degrees. All right, let's go see what the oil is doing. And we're going to do the same thing. Yeah, let's clear that out. And that's at like about 146. So they both need to come down about the same. I'm going to just move this from the heat, slide it back on my stove, and just let it cool down. All right, so we have a few more minutes to wait, and I'll come back to you. So like I said, soap is a long process. It's not a long process, but it does take some time. You can't like rush into it. Things need to do with what they need to do. The chemicals need to incorporate. The temperature needs to be right. But it is like cooking, and I don't want you to be fearful about it, right? So you can do it. It is easy to do, right? And you should challenge yourself to do it, right? We wonder how our ancestors made it in the past. It's because they tried things, and if it didn't work, it just didn't work. They were smart people. They used their hands, they used their mind, they used just the simple things, like I'm going to show you again. Things around you, this old wood box, right? A blender that's in my cabinet, but and some old wooden spoons and a plate and some essential oils in a pot and some water and lye over there. And I'm going to have soap that's going to last my family a very long time. Now, why is this important? Okay, this is important because we all know what the economic picture is going to look like in the future. We're not going to be deceived, right? That's what my job is. My job is to encourage you young people to think outside the box and to remember your heritage, right? Remember your aunties, right? Remember your grandmommies. Remember your nanas, right? And the skills that they picked up so that they could survive whatever challenge came their way. And because of those skills that they learned from watching and seeing older people do and having it being passed down to them, they were able to survive and produce you, and here you are, right? You are the culmination of all your ancestors. So don't fail them now. All right? We're almost at the end of this thing, and it's going to be a beautiful day when Yah changes it all and we walk into the new heaven and the new earth. So, but until then, we need to practice those skills that have been passed down from generation to generation, that has kept us strong, that has kept us healthy, that has kept us alive. All right? We didn't get weaker, we just got stronger. So, this is a skill, a little piece of knowledge. Don't ever snuff your nose at knowledge. All right? A little piece of knowledge on how to make soap. It's basic, right? You can experiment, use all kinds of oils or fats or lards. You can use just vegetable products, or you can use just animal products. It's up to you and your imagination. Be creative, but don't be afraid to try. So I'll come back in a little bit and we'll show you some more. Hi, I'm back. We're ready for the next step. So when we last left, the fluids were cooling down. We had mixed them and they were cooling down. We had heated up the oil and we had mixed our lye over here in the water. And was cooling down, and he said that when it reached 90 degrees, we were going to incorporate the two. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So this is the part that you probably need to put on your goggles here, and you need to wear some kind of gloves for protection and safety. So in the pot we have our cool oil, and I'm just going to add that rapidly. All right, now I'm going to drain that. I don't want this to drip on the floor, so I'm going to take this over to the sink. And this is what it looks like. It kind of turns cloudy immediately. I'm just going to give that a quick stir. And then I'm going to blend it. Now remember I said I just used old things from my house. So these things are dedicated for soap making only. I don't swap them between food and soap. So all these things you see, they have just become soap making products. So I'm going to blend this a little bit. And this process is called sponification. It's where it combines the fat molecule and the water molecule together. And this is the process that makes it soap. Now, an interesting fact, the difference between a soap and a detergent is that a soap the molecule is like a teardrop, and it actually combines with the dirt and carries it away. Whereas a detergent's not like that. Look how beautiful this is. All right, so if you can see in the pot right there, how it kind of wants to peak. So I'm going to just let this, keep blending it until it peaks, and that's called a trace. And once I have entered trace stage, which this is going really quick, when it peaks and can stand on its own in the pot, it's almost there, just a little more, I can start adding my extra ingredients. Okay, so when I made this recipe, you can go online, use one of the soap apps, make a recipe, choose the type of oils you want, add your essential oils and your other ingredients, and it will spit you out a recipe, and you just follow the recipe. And so you don't really have to do the math yourself. So I'm going to add now my essential oil. Okay, and I'm going to blend that a little bit. Okay, I've done that. I'm going to add my wonderful lavender that I got from my neighbor, because I like stuff in my soap and on my soap. I like to use, what the earth gives me. I didn't put a lot. You can use as much as you want. That's probably like a half a little twig I'm going to do. And then I get a mixture, kind of like milk curd, right? Some kind of curd. I'm going to scrape that off, because now we have to kind of move fast, because I don't really want it to set up housekeeping in the pot. So now I'm going to switch over here, and if you can see me, this is where I had the wood box and I covered it with the parchment paper. Now I'm just going to dump this hot soap. Remember, be careful, because it can still burn you, into the soap box. Okay. And then I'm just gonna make sure it's as flat as it can be or whatever. See, it's already setting up house, so I want to make sure it's in the corners. I'm gonna shake it down like I'm cooking. Sometimes it doesn't solidify this fast, but this is solidifying pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna smooth that out because remember this is a home crafted soap, so it doesn't have to be totally like in the store. Actually, this is better than the store because it's made with fresh, wholesome ingredients. It is a soap, it's not a detergent. And it's been passed down from years and years. You know, the people used to use the fat from cooking. You know, actually the Egyptians were the first to make soap. And they're the ones that kind of taught it to everybody else. So, that's my soap. And now, I'm going to top it off with a little bit of the lavender flowers. Okay, it's absolutely beautiful. Looks like almost something you can eat. If you can just take a look at that real close. So what you think? So, we did a lavender soap. Here's our little reminder. And you can do it too, you know? So, I'll come back and I'll show you the rest of it. It needs to sit for at least 24 hours so I can get it out of the mold. And then I'm going to cut it and then set it aside that it can cure. And it needs to cure for up to 4 to 6 weeks. So until we come back again, you have a great day.